its staff, management, or sponsors.
AMP2.TV presents Tell Us Your Business, where you're invited on the air to tell us what makes your business stand out in the community. It's important we hear from you to tell us all we need to know about what you do best. Tell Us Your Business uses the latest radio and television production systems, and all shows can be seen on AMP2.TV. If you have a question for our guest, call 888-565-1470. Now, let's get ready as our guest hits the airwaves and informs us about what we need to know on Tell Us Your Business.
Hi, and welcome to Tell Us Your Biz. My name is Megan, and I am the owner and founder of Roseway Recovery House. We are female sober living in the Boynton Beach, Delray Beach area, and this is very exciting to be on the air. It's actually been, the last time I did a show was in 2009. It was called Gossip Palm Beach, and it was all things nightlife. And here I am today, all these years later, sober, and my life has completely changed. So when I was asked to do the show, I immediately said yes, and had to dust off my old broadcasting skills. So I'm really excited to be here. And just to give you a little bit of background on myself, I battled with addiction and some mental health my entire life. It's ran through my family, and it's a very heartbreaking disease. I feel that I'm one of the fortunate ones that have made it and, really lived this thing through day and day. And so when I was probably, I want to say about 2.5 years sober, I had this small little dream, this small idea to open a female halfway house. And, there was a lot of fear that came with it. Am I going to be successful? Are people going to judge me? What's going to happen? And, I feel like those are normal fears that we all tell ourselves. But, God kind of gave me the strength and the faith to walk through that. And I started with one house back in, it was around 2017, and I'll never forget it. The first group of girls I had, they were so special, and most of them are still sober today, and I'm so blessed to be able to, do what I do. And over the last 4 years, it's really grown, and it's grown fast, and I just feel that God really works through these houses and through me, and I currently have 5 houses. And I have 3 phases. So, what we do for women is we take them after treatment. So once they've completed, a treatment center, they will come to Roseway Recovery House, and they will really learn to live. And, with any business, it takes a village. And, what started off as one small house has turned into, 5 houses with 52 women. And I always like to say I asked God for a daughter. I got a son, but in turn I got 52 daughters. And they definitely, they keep my hands full, but really witnessing the miracles and the blessings, that happens in their life is just huge. And, it's ironic. We're here on 420. So I like to say happy Gateway Drug Day. And, I really do believe that it started off as weed for me. And then, I chased that feeling, whether it was alcohol, drugs, anything else. I chased that feeling for almost 2 decades. So, I do believe that this disease runs through and through, and, I really feel that I have a platform to spread awareness and also to be able to help as many people as possible. So that's a little bit of background about me. I'm really excited to announce who I brought with me today. It is the month of Mother's Day, and I wanted to bring, 2 strong moms, and they both have completely different stories. I have Casey, who has been through the struggle of addiction, who has, gone in and out of the relationship with her daughter, who she has a strong one with today. She went through my house. She managed my house. She's now my residential manager. And I really feel that God put her in my life, and that other moms need to hear her story, because there are some moms out there that, just feel hopeless that they'll never get that relationship back with their kids. So I would like to introduce Casey, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from and where you're at today, and, just give us your hope.
Hi, my name's Casey. As she said, I am an alcoholic, and I'm in recovery now. I am originally from Ohio and came down to Florida for treatment, which was supposed to be a short day span, and going back within a month. But we all know, anybody that's in recovery, it doesn't work out that way, because we don't realize how damaged we truly are when we come down here until we actually start into our therapy and treatment part of it. My daughter is 14 years old, a very huge part of my life, and my alcohol ruined our relationship. It put struggles on everybody in my family, caused a lot of things that, you know, still, even financial, still cleaning up to this day, and I have almost 14 months sober. But I knew at that point, before I come down here, that alcohol wasn't my problem anymore, that my problem was me. And I just didn't know how to fix it. So I knew I had to go to treatment. I didn't have an option. And I did have an option, but the other option wasn't the one I wanted. Like, I didn't want to die. I didn't want to kill somebody else. And I was at that point in my life with my drinking. And the struggles that I was putting through my daughter weren't fair to her or anybody else in my family anymore. So that's why I came down to treatment, and I decided that this time for me to spend to get better and to work on myself was worth it. Even if I had to miss a part of her life, that I could have the rest of my life with her if I could just get sober and learn how to stay sober. And I knew there were people that knew how to do it, and I knew I needed to work on myself, but I just couldn't do it where I was at, because I have a nursing degree, and I was a nurse in Ohio, and I was working all the time, and I know me well enough that I wouldn't have took the time off work, and I wouldn't have took the time away from my daughter. And if I would have went close, then I would still have too much access to get to alcohol if I wanted it, because I know too many people. But if I came to Florida, I knew that I had to focus on myself, and I knew I had to spend that time working on me and finding out what was wrong with me so I could fix that. And I've been able to do that through, like, the women in my recovery and through AA, and I do have a sponsor that has helped me along the way. I originally came to Roseway in September, which was an absolute blessing into my life. I started managing there and have just continued it. It's an absolute joy to work with Megan and now Kina as well, and watch these girls grow in their recovery. This disease is killing people every day now, and it truly breaks my heart. So to watch these girls grow, and it's from all ages now. Like, we've got girls that are 19 clear up to people that are in their 60s. It doesn't matter what age you are, what ethnicity or anything. It's a disease, and it's killing people. But back to my daughter. So our relationship today is so much better. She came down a week ago and spent a whole week with me down here in Florida. She got to meet all the girls at Roseway. We got to go do things together, and we laughed together, we cried together, and like, we FaceTime every day. And to have her back in my life is an absolute blessing, and it's something that I honestly thank God for every day, because without this program and without bringing God in my life and the women around me, I wouldn't have what I have today. They've all helped me to get, everything has helped me to get to where I am, and because of all that, I have that relationship with my daughter today. So for anybody that's out there struggling, that is a mom, and you're afraid to leave your kid because you don't want to leave them behind for too long, if you keep continuing to use or to drink, they're not going to have you anymore. But if you take this time for yourself to get better, then you can have a life with them. But you got to take that time to figure out what the problem is and get the solution before you can get better.
Thanks, Casey. And, you know, being a part of your life has just taught me so many lessons. And, you know, you have a story, and moms need to hear that. And now what you're doing, you're giving back, you're a part of our team, and you're helping these women. And, you know, it really is a miracle. And the one thing I noticed about you is that you never gave up. You never gave up. And the nights that you cried because you missed her so much. And if there's any moms out there that feel that way, please reach out. You know, we have women that have gone through that. And you're just a blessing. So I'm really happy to have you here. And I know you're going to inspire so many moms out there. So thank you for coming. And the next lovely lady that I want to introduce, her name is Kina. Kina has been in my life for 7 years since I got sober. And the reason why I wanted to bring her on to the show is because she herself does not struggle with addiction, but she has lived in a family that has. And I get a lot of questions from families about, you know, what do we do? What do we don't do? And she's lived it. And I feel that your story, Kina, can help so many people out there because you're on the other side of it now, and you can help so many moms and even dads and sisters, brothers, navigate how to deal with living with an addict. It's not easy, and it does tear families apart. It is a family disease. So I knew that you would have a great story to tell on this show, and I'll let you take it over.
Hello, thank you for that, Megan, and thank you, Casey, for sharing your story. To see you with your daughter was heartwarming, and just to know that is possible, like you said, for any mom out there. It's, recovery is for everyone. And so my story, originally from Baltimore, Maryland. I've been here in Florida for about 13 years now. But people that know me hear me say the best thing about my childhood is that it's over. And it was because of addiction. My mom was an addict. My dad was an alcoholic. And so essentially I was robbed of a childhood because of that. And so then to grow up in a place like Baltimore where it's pretty tough, you have to kind of find your way, and to have to find your way without a stable home and stable family and stable parents, it makes it even tougher. But I always mention, that the things that I did learn was what not to do, in a sense. And so I didn't go that route, thankfully. But then you grow up and you meet the love of your life, who I learned early on was in recovery. And so this was new to me. Because I knew what addiction looked like, but when you hear recovery, I didn't know what recovery looked like. And it really wasn't until he, maybe I'll say the 6th relapse, that I realized, wow, okay, this is what it looks like. So it was devastating, all the while watching him struggle the way that he did. And it wasn't until he came to Florida to get help that he was able to see what true recovery looks like in the rooms of AA, like you mentioned, the fellowship that they have. Oh my God, the fellowship that you guys have, and the people that surrounded him and surrounded us as a family, pretty much took us all in to help support us in how we get through this thing as a family. Because, it was moments where, oh, I got this, I can fix him, I can help him. He just has to stay home. He just has to stay away from those people. He has to stay away from those things. We got this as a family, and you know how it is. What happens in your home stays in your home, but no more. You need help to fight this disease, because it is killing people at a rapid rate. And so reach out. Don't ever be afraid to reach out and ask for help. And we did that. So he was able, yes, to find true recovery, find a true family in recovery here, and start taking those steps that would change his life. Not just to stay clean for 30 days, right? Or not just to get you through so that you can keep your job kind of recovery, real true recovery that will affect how he's able to give away what he's learned. He always says, my husband, to keep what you have to give it away. And that's what he does. And he even mentions now, I don't know what that one thing is that keeps me sober, so I do it all. Whether it's meeting with sponsees and giving back to the community, and through his pain became a passion to help others, which is where we built New Life, a recovery resources, which is a men's sober home in Boynton Beach. And for him, for us as a family, it was great to see him do what he loved, because now he received the help and he is now helping others do so. And I didn't know where I kind of fit into that, where it's my husband's thing. I'll support you. I'm here for you as always. But I myself found a love for helping people, again, as the child, that grew up in this disease, wanting to give back and finding a place, which is here now with Megan and Roseway, sharing our stories, because now I can relate to the mom and dads who feel like they just, I'll lock my daughter up, I'll keep them home, I'll keep them away, I'll buy them anything, right? I'll give them what they ask for, and they'll be okay. And it's not that easy. You do need the help, you need the resources, you need the treatment, you need the support of being in a home with 10, 15 other women who are going through what you're going through. And for us as the spouses and family members, knowing that you can't fix them, is help enough, because we can kind of beat a dead horse and kind of feel like, the threatening and the, I'm going to leave, I'm going to take the kid. None of that helps. If love could have saved my husband, he'd have been sober a long time ago, right? So that's not what it takes. It takes a lot more, and it's a lifetime. It's a lifetime. It's not something you do and you're recovered. Recovery is a lifetime thing that the family will have to go through. And for me, understanding that, every day at 7 p.m. he's at his meeting, and if he's not not there, I'm asking them, why aren't you at your meeting? That's what it takes. And I'm okay with that. And to be a part of Megan's mission to help as many women as we can, 5 houses and counting. It's awesome to be a part of this because, again, from my standpoint, I'm able to explain to the women in the homes who are missing their children what it feels like and how you get that relationship back and how you can successfully keep that relationship as long as you're on the right track. And the families just want to see you doing well. We just want you to do well. Mothers just want to hear that their daughters are okay. Dads just want to hear that there is hope. And Roseway and New Life, we give hope, explaining the process and the education that it takes. Al-Anon, other resources are available for families to kind of reach out and get the help that they need because, when they relapse, families, we do too, right? We lose the hope. We feel hopeless and we feel like there is no end to this, but there is. There is hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel. And here at Roseway, we can help you do that. Here at New Life, we can help you do that. Reach out. That's the first and foremost thing. Don't shut the door, to your bedroom, close yourself in, not reach out for help. Reach out, tell someone what's going on, and the help is there.
Thank you, Kina. And so what advice would you give to the family members? Because even today I was having a conversation with one of the moms of my new girls coming in, and they were like, we're so scared to not enable her. But we just don't know what to do. And where do you draw the line? And at what point do you have to say, okay, enough is enough. You need to leave. You need to go to treatment or I'm done. And what does that look like for you? Because I've never had to experience that. And I think that's why you're such an asset to not only your business, but mine as well, because you've lived it. So what advice would you give other family members who have gone through that cycle?
I would say once you realize that you can't, I think a lot of families think that that is the cure-all, love them enough, give them enough. It really hurts them more than it helps them. It's damaging because if that rock bottom, which we call it, is nice and soft and cushy, then why not fall over and over again, right? At some point it has to be, a place where they come to that there is no more help to allow you to hurt yourself. There is help when you're ready to help yourself, but there's no more help watching you hurt yourself, and that's where the families have to walk away. And you're not walking away from your loved one. Realize that you're walking away from the ability to be able to help her hurt or him hurt themselves any further. That's what you're walking away from. You're walking away from the idea that I'm not going to help you do this. I'm here when you're ready to get the help. I'm here to step in when you're ready, to get what you need to move forward positively, but I can no longer watch you or help you hurt yourself. And I think once they realize that it hurts more than it helps, they can kind of start looking at things, get a new perspective on what that looks like, loving them from afar, supporting them from afar. But that, scratch that idea that, I'll give, and that's going to help. It does more damage than it does good. Yeah, and you touched on something so important that when we really feel that we're helping, we're actually contributing to their death, essentially. And, like Casey said, what we're up against is life or death. I mean, we get calls every day. We were just on vacation and we took the kids to Universal and we got a call that somebody overdosed and died, another call. And it's almost become the norm. It's actually more abnormal when people don't overdose and die, which is so crazy. So when we are enabling, we're actually harming them more, and it's definitely not easy. And I'm just so thankful to have you a part of my team because you bring that dynamic to the table. And these families need it. I mean, these families need it. We, as recovering alcoholics, we have groups to go to. We have meetings. We have each other. We can raise our hand and say, this is what I'm going through. We got to work these 12 steps. But the families don't really have that other than Al-Anon. Right. So we might be onto something here. Maybe we create a little group with you leading it. So basically, tell us your biz. So let's have some fun facts now. Casey, tell us something interesting about your life prior to alcoholism. Put you on the spot.
Prior to alcoholism, I mean, as I said, I have a degree in nursing, and I've been a nurse for 13 years. Worked in multiple different doctor's offices, assisted living, nursing homes, and was doing home health before I came to Florida.
Yeah, and I see this, and we were talking about this earlier today, that the success stories and people going back to school. And I mean, even my story, I was, basically homeless on the streets, had to get locked up in order to get sober, and now I've created this business that's just flourishing. And we're not all junkies, we're not all losers. There's people with, dreams and goals and have good backgrounds. And Kina, I know a little bit of something about you that I've seen you flourish in. And, as someone who went through the addiction with her husband, to see you now being able to chase your own dreams and, and your passion. So tell us a little fun fact about you.
Okay. My background or degree is criminal justice, and I actually became a case manager working with the Department of Families and Children here. And for that reason, it was more so because I wanted to be the case manager that I needed when I was young. So that was definitely a passion of mine through COVID that ended. But yes, a lifelong career or passion of mine rather has been fashion. Mm-hmm. I'm an avid thrifter. I love it. It's my therapy. Mm-hmm. And so I created Proper Vintage, which is an Instagram and online boutique where I find the good stuff, from the 60s and the 70s and the 50s, all the good purses and skirts and dresses. I always say my biggest fear is walking into a place and someone is dressed like me. And so through thrifting, I'm able to find that creative outlet and help other women do the same.
That's amazing. And, I call you the fashion queen. And, there's so many things that we can do with our lives. And, and with these girls, it all starts, right, in sober living. For me personally, another thing I do, I dance. I dance with a professional dance company. It's called Agua Dance Company in Lake Worth at Downtown Dance. I actually have to teach a class at 8 p.m. So I have a very balanced life. And that's another, passion and purpose of mine. And, I just encourage anyone watching that's struggling to really reach out. And Kina, tell us where we can get info on Men's Halfways. Where would somebody call? What's the website?
Yes, absolutely. Website is newliferecoveryresources.org. You can even call 561-305-4122, direct number to someone who can assist you immediately, whether it's, if you're looking for halfway, if you're looking for someone to talk to about halfway, about treatment, or just someone to talk to about what you're struggling with. Please reach out, 561-305-4122.
And Casey, any last words for any of the moms out there that, might feel lost and hopeless and struggling?
That it's possible, that you can get sober and you can have your kids back in your life. I've watched tons of other women as well that have completely lost their kids, that either maybe have custody of their kids again or are getting visitations with them, slowly getting them back in their life. Get help now while you still can before it's too late.
Thank you, Casey. And, for any of my women out there that are looking to find a supportive, loving community, Roseway Recovery House is the place. And, I truly don't take any credit for that. I do feel that God has worked through me to create this, this community of women. You will feel loved, you will feel supported, and the program that we have set up will allow you to attain long-term sobriety. Mm-hmm. So if you need more information on that, my number is 561-927-9379. You can go to rosewayrecoveryhouse.com or Facebook, Roseway Recovery House, and, our lines are open 24/7. Anything that you need, we are here to help you and the families every step of the way. So thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
This has been Tell Us Your Business, where a special guest comes on every week and tells us what they do. All shows can be seen on amp2.tv, and if you wish to be a guest, call 866-224-5422 and tell us about your business. That's 866-224-5422. This has been an amp2.tv